Do you know psychologists say quiet children aren't shy when
No.
they're wired differently?
hmm
Let's explore and discuss in this video. Keep watching us and subscribe us. Thanks.
Okay, so picture this, a school playground. You've got the swings, the slide, all the usual chaos. But then you see a kid just sitting off to the side, all by themselves. What's that first gut reaction you have? You know, if you're like most of us, your heart probably goes out to them a little, right? You think, oh, that poor kid, they must be so lonely, or maybe they're struggling to make friends. And hey, that's a totally natural human reaction. But here's the thing. What if that whole assumption is just wrong? And really, that's the heart of what we're talking about today. We see this quiet kid and our brains just slap on a label. Shy, lonely, maybe a little awkward. But what if? What if what's happening on the inside is something totally different? What if they aren't lonely at all? What if they're just taking it all in? Thinking, observing, processing everything? What if their solitude isn't a bug, but a feature? So yeah, that's the big question we're going to dive into. We're about to flip the script on how we see the quiet child. Let's reframe this whole thing, not as some kind of social problem, but as a sign of a really unique, really powerful mind at work. Some psychologists have this really cool way of putting it. They suggest these kids might be operating on what you could call a higher mental frequency. I love that. Think about it like an old school radio dial. While most of the other kids are tuned into the loud, staticky, top 40 station of the playground, this child, well, they're tuned into a much quieter, more complex broadcast, the one that's playing 24/7 inside their own head. And that is the key right there. Their mind just isn't built for all the surface level noise and chatter. It's craving something deeper. It's kind of like when you go to a big party, right? Are you the person who wants to have 100 quick, how's the weather chats? Or would you rather find one person and have a real, meaningful conversation? For these kids, the choice is a no-brainer. It's all about preference. It's not a flaw. Okay, so what is actually happening inside that quiet head? Because it's not just, oh, they're just a quiet person. There's some fascinating science to this. Let's dig in and unlock this whole thing with 3 key psychological ideas. All right, first up, we've got something called asynchronous development. Just think about it like this. You've got a kid who can explain black holes or something super complex, but then totally freezes up when trying to make small talk about a video game. That's it. That's asynchronous development. It's like their brain is this high-performance sports car engine, but it's been dropped into a chassis where the steering and the brakes are still being figured out. And this chart really shows you what we mean. Look at that intellectual growth. It's way up there. But then you see their social age, and it's lagging way behind. It's this gap, this mismatch, that can make the playground feel, well, like they've been dropped in a foreign country where they don't speak the language and don't know any of the customs. Okay, concept number 2, the need for cognition. This is so important. These kids aren't just sitting there zoned out. They are active mental explorers. That quiet time is an empty space. It's a whole universe they're building in their minds, full of complex problems to solve and amazing ideas to explore. So you see, they're not avoiding play. They're just engaged in a much, much deeper form of it. And our third and final key is all about the brain's personal bouncer. It's a process called sensory gating. Basically, this is the part of your brain that stands at the velvet rope of your attention. It decides what gets in and what has to wait outside. For most of us, this bouncer is pretty on top of things, right? It keeps all the annoying background noise from crashing the party in our head. But for some of these quiet thinkers, that bouncer isn't so strict. Their sensory filter is a bit leaky, and that means everything gets in. The yelling, the laughing, the balls bouncing, the swings squeaking, it all just floods their brain at the same time. It's a total sensory overload. So when you see them retreat to a quiet corner, it's not them being rude or antisocial. They're literally just trying to find some shelter from the storm. Okay, so we've got a handle on the why behind all this. Now for the really important part, the what. What can we actually do to support these incredible, unique minds? How do we shift our perspective from pity to genuine empowerment? And let's be clear, this isn't about trying to fix them. It's about giving them what they need to thrive. So first thing, create quiet zones for them. Think of it as a personal sanctuary, a place where they can just recharge their batteries. Second, lean into their deep interests. If they're obsessed with dinosaurs, don't just get them a toy. Get them the most amazing, detailed book about paleontology you can find. And last but not least, and this one is huge, validate them. Seriously, just saying something like, I really love how deeply you think about things. That can change their whole world. So this is the big takeaway, the huge mental shift we all need to make. That kid on the playground bench, they're not a problem that needs fixing. They are a whole world waiting to be discovered. Their quietness isn't loneliness. It's a sign of a rich, complex mind hard at work. And once we really, truly get that, we can stop feeling sorry for them and start celebrating them for who they are. So let me just leave you with this final question to chew on. We live in a world that is just obsessed with being loud, right? Always on, always talking. What are we missing out on by not leaning in and listening to the quiet ones? What incredible ideas, what game-changing insights are being cooked up in those silent moments? Just think about it. What if the quietest minds actually have the most to say?